founder of the Psychic News Network. Just grabbing some tea, getting ready to survey the scene of the news. How y'all doing? Good to see you? Good to be seen? I made it through Easter unscathed. It's a busy season for me, having a church and all. Hang on 1 second. I was gonna get something. Got my teacup. I almost wasn't gonna do tea tonight, but we'll do tea. Happy April Fool's Day. I'm not gonna be fooling you, just so you know. I'm bad at fooling people. It's not my strong point. I'm too painfully honest. Not that I don't appreciate a good joke. Right, Thomas? Is he out there today? Hello. So, hang on. I'll be right back. So, it is April. Good Lord, how did that happen so fast? We're strong, we're together, and we're envisioning a strong democracy. Exactly. I'm just shedding a little bit more light on things. Hang on. So, I'm still reeling from Donald Trump selling signed copies. I'm so flabbergasted I can't even talk. I'm still reeling from... He's signing the Bible. What does that mean? Thank you, Rhonda. What does it mean when he's saying you can get your signed copy of the Bible? I can't. It's Kevin. I don't know. I can't connect. I can't understand why we're putting up with this. Why are we putting up with this? When somebody signs a book, it means they wrote it. Am I missing something, or like that's how it is, right? I've written a book. I'm completing another book. And when I'm done with my book, the second one, well, with the first one I did this, I had an event and I signed copies, right? Because I wrote it. So what does it mean? Hey, Kathy, I was just going to mention our show. What does it mean? Right, and Kathy wrote a book. Kathy Beal wrote a book, right? Professional Aquarian. Tell us what you did at your book signing. You signed the book, right? Thank you, Terry, for the endorsement. And you signed them, right? She's saying she wrote several books. I'm on my second one. I certainly have enough content for 10 books, but... Thank you, Karen. You're so sweet. So I'm just kind of like... Lacey's saying she's surprised that one of those Bibles hasn't gone up into flames. Well, you never know. Warren's endorsing you, Kathy Beal. I can't, he's done a lot of things that are just, every one of them is worse than the one before. But this one took the cake for me. We're gonna read on that. So happy April Fool's Day. Did anybody get fooled today? You hear seagulls because it's the time of year they come back. Let's do let's start with the Nefarious cards. James is asking if anyone's watched Against All Enemies, the movie. Oh my gosh. I'm a huge fan. Well, as you all know, I'm a huge fan of Midas Touch. But I'm an even huger fan of Sebastian Junger. So if they were involved, and they were, I do want to watch Against All Enemies. I guess it's winning a lot of awards. I'm not sure where you watch it. Maybe you can post that, where it is. I tend to veer away from watching things that will scare me too much. I have a pretty good sense of what's in it, so it's likely that I won't watch it, but I will recommend that people watch it. Cheryl's saying she's not fooling around about the snowstorm. Is there a snowstorm coming? In the 90s, just on that topic of a snowstorm, in the 90s when I was living in Nashville, they had a snowstorm in New England and they called it the April Fool's storm. I didn't hear that there was snow in the forecast. We're going to get rain again. Anyway, meanwhile, back at the Bible. See, probably the time that I most go to the Bible, the movie is on most platforms. Okay. About that movie, Against All Enemies. I guess it's available on all platforms. If you watch Midas Touch, I'm sure that you'll hear it. Anyway, there's too many things going on. I know, people are chatting. What's the moon is in Sag. No, it went into Capricorn. Mercury is retrograde starting today. Mercury goes retrograde. It just went. Yeah, people are chatty. That's interesting. Until the 25th. Thank you, Sharon, for promoting me. Anyway, I realize at the moment that I'm all over the place. Okay. Focus in. The moon went into Capricorn, so everything I don't know where to start. They unsubscribed you from my channel. Oh, please resubscribe. Oh, while I'm thinking about it, well, first I have to read an April Fool's dad joke. I'm a librarian, so I put a display of invisible books on April Fool's Day, but my patrons saw right through it. Oh my goodness. Darren saying, I guess things will slow down a bit with Mercury retrograde. I'm not picking that up. Cheryl's saying that she's still has flooding in her basement. Jeez, I know you're in Maine. Are you on the coast? All right, I'm going to pull 3 cards. Yeah, I'm not picking up any slowing down with Mercury retrograde. I'm picking up stuff just flying through the air. That's what I'm picking up. Warren, you don't have to program yourself that way. The community, I'm going to just recommend to everybody that we don't program our minds to think everything's going to be in disarray and it's going to be terrible, and because our lives go in the direction of our thoughts. Against All Enemies, once again, was I don't know if Sebastian Younger wrote the screenplay, but you all know he wrote The Perfect Storm, which is about right here where I am. Those guys left the dock right down from the street that I'm moving to. So Against All Enemies is about the militia movement, the domestic terrorist militia movement in the United States, and how organized it is and how intense it is. So that's why we pray. Hi, John. We're going to go to pulling 3 cards about Trump and... First, let's ask the pendulum. Does he really think, because understand, and some of you may understand this already, that when people get dementia, they start, well, he's always had delusions of grandeur, but they can start being, I would say, hallucinating. Damon's in the house. Please hit the subscribe and please hit the thumbs up. And I'm going to remind you a few times this time. Just because. I got to get more disciplined. Dad joke. I don't trust stairs anymore. They're always up to something. Thomas, you never fail to make me laugh. Does Donald Trump think that he's the second coming of Christ? Has he been convinced that he's the second coming of Christ? Has he been convinced of that? Is he convinced? Is he that far? Oh my word! You think his brain is fried from all the drugs, electrostorm? Oh my Lord! The pendulum's saying he thinks he's the second coming. Does Donald Trump think that he's like divinely? Yikes! Oh, it's group hug time. There's 200 people here already. Wow, thanks for showing up. I didn't expect that. Do the evangelicals have him convinced? Is that he's the second coming of Christ? Gosh, I'm having a hard time believing that he really believes that, but that's a question that I'm asking, and it's kind of strong. You wish he was a second going instead. But bum. Good one. Good one there, John. Did you make that up in your own head by yourself? Oh my gosh, that's why he signed the Bible. I know, that's the part that's really got me, like, I can't let go of it, is that he signed it. And he's telling people, you'll get a signed copy of the Bible, signed by me. The pendulum is saying he really does think he's, but I don't think he believes in a higher power, so... Gosh, this has really got me befuddled. He thinks he's God. That's what I'm picking up. Glory's thrown up. 3 cards. We want more to the story. We're reading the nefarious cards here. Oh, while I'm thinking about it, thank you for all of you who came to my Holy Week services. For that matter, I could just tell you that I'm the second coming of Jesus. Does he really? What's going to happen with this? Well, get this one. I don't know what Lee Greenwood did. I don't know if Lee Greenwood donated all these old Bibles. Hang on, let me finish this topic first. Then we'll hug. It changes our outfits. I don't know if Lee Greenwood was expecting a cut. But, yeah, can anyone say Jim Jones? Exactly. It's getting more bona fide cult every minute. But, thank you, Teresa. She liked the church services. I'm feeling like the Donald is going to get in a little spat with Lee Greenwood. I don't know where this is coming from. About he wants to keep the whole amount that he takes in with those from those Bibles. I don't know if we're going to hear about this, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do. And the chariot. This is going to be kind of a flash in the pan thing, this Bible thing. This is Trump, there will be no cut. Yeah, that's interesting, because I'm kind of getting, and yeah, Kathy's saying, because he gets into spats or whatever. I don't know, it just kind of surprised me. Because thank you, Diane. Because, I think I'm overwhelmed by all the news today. I think maybe it's because Mercury just went retrograde, but I'm just like, what? think my brain has just gotten fried by how bizarre all the news is. The Supreme Court of Florida is permitting an abortion referendum on the ballot in November. Good. That's good. Well, okay, let me tell you the story about these Bibles. What happened was, and I want to give a shout out to Tara's Apprentice because I happened to catch their show, which I don't usually, last night. And I'm sorry I can't tell you who it was that said this. They were talking about these Bibles. And check out that channel. It was kind of random that I saw it. So one of them, it might have been Becca, was saying they were reading about these Bibles and why were the pages sticking together. And I hadn't even considered it, but I know that Lee Greenwood had those as commemorative of 9/11, which is when he made a ton of money on that song, Proud to Be an American. Believe me, I was living in Nashville at the time. We could not stand that song, most of us. And 9/11, he really capitalized on that song, but to commemorate 9/11, the 20-year anniversary, he had these Bibles made up. And apparently they have, the question being asked was, why are the pages sticking together? Because there's a complaint that the pages are sticking together. And somebody on that psychic show last night was saying that they were stacked away, I don't know, in the basement or the garage or something, and being stacked on they were leftover Bibles and being stacked upon one upon another. Of course, the pages stuck. And I just thought, yeah, well, that made so much sense. And I feel like this is going to kind of be a flash in the pan thing, just like the NFT cards and the golden sneakers, which, by the way, those golden sneakers, they were just placed on order by people. They weren't like, here's my check and here are your sneakers. So I don't think they were ever going to get their sneakers. And that was quick, too. So this looks like a quick buck, but the moon coming up is very emotional. He's very volatile, the loser is right now. And the chariot is there. It's quickly going to get very emotional. And I feel like they're going to have a fight over the Bibles, and that Trump needs all the money from the Bibles as if it were part of the agreement with Lee Greenwood. All right, we'll do a group hug now. Your stomach is turning. I know, mine too. No one could return them, the Bibles? No way. He lost $1 billion today. How did he lose $1 billion? He's also selling a teddy bear with gold hair. No. Are you serious? That song was included in the short film at the naturalization ceremonies no longer. Oh, interesting. Okay. His stock from Truth Social is crashing. I did hear that. All right, let's all think about how much we love American democracy, and let's do a group hug. 1, 2, 3. Everyone hug each other. Yay! We're hugging, we're saving democracy. We're democracy strong, like my sign says. Thank you. I think this is the only place that does group hugs. We kind of made it up. Let's pull 3 cards about Lee Greenwood, because you know what? I'm not sure he's going to heaven. I'm not sure. Warren, I like the way you think. We have saved democracy. Yes, we just want to hold the space for that to be happening. That's how we do around here. I'm pulling 3 cards on Lee Greenwood. Oh my gosh. I feel like Lee Greenwood is going to try to sue Trump. I don't know. I see a big fight. All right. You received a request from Biden for a donation? Yeah, definitely send it along. Lee Greenwood, how is this going to go for him? I have to do a mental adjustment to figure out what these cards are in the Rider Waite. Okay. So Lee Greenwood is not going to make any money off of this. Oh no. And he's going to end up upset because it was his idea. Originally. I'm feeling like Lee Greenwood is going to get mad at Trump and he's going to try to, because you know, the thing about the loser is he keeps going and going and going. He's like, Trump is like that cantankerous child, the bad child, who, you know, you think that you satisfied him, you know, like he wants candy, he's screaming for candy, so you give him a little candy. And then they're not satisfied. They want more, and they want more, and they want more, and they're intolerable. So I just feel like he and Lee Greenwood are going to get in a fight, and Lee Greenwood is going to end up losing and wishing. Cheryl's saying she sent money to Biden and Annette. I love it. Thank you. He's wishing, Lee Greenwood is kind of wishing he never got into this in the first place. I don't think he's really going to come to his senses, but, I mean, Lee. I was really good friends with somebody who was dating Lee's daughter in Nashville at the time. It was a crazy time. You didn't get a wrench. I haven't handed out wrenches in a long time. By the way, I haven't thanked my wrenches in a long time. Everyone who's a wielder of the wrench, give yourself a pat on the back. I'm giving you a hug. Hugs for all the wrenches. That's what I call you. It's kind of like wenches, but it's a compliment. My wrenches are currently doing a great job, so thank you. And you're sending me a donation. Thank you. Patting yourself on the back, okay? Yeah, so that's the Bible thing. Now let's read on, I don't need to use these cards because I'm going to read on how this is going to affect the American people. We don't want to use like the nefarious bad people cards for the American people. Dad joke, what should you do if a bull charged you? Pay whatever it charged. Oh my gosh. I think my favorite dad joke, Thomas, was the other night when you said, how do you make holy water? You boil the hell out of it. That was good. I might have to retell that one. Oh, no, and we're still talking about the Bible. No, Lee's not going to get the money they agreed on. No, Lee Greenwood is not going to get, I don't even know why he went into that deal. Maybe he felt like he owed Trump something for making his song, like the song that just kept giving, right? It's one of those gag me songs, you know? All right, 3 cards about this Bible, the effect on the American populace. What a fool. Like, how are they taking this? I don't know anybody who's like, oh, goody, Trump signed the Bible and he's selling them. I haven't seen anybody that said that. People learn you don't do business with Trump. Yeah, I know. Gag me with a spoon. Yeah. How is it going to affect the American populace, this latest scam? He will be judged harshly. He's being judged, Trump is being judged harshly by the American populace as it is. For, among other things, like it just keeps getting worse and worse, among other things, threatening violence on the President of the United States, which is against the law. Not that laws matter to him, but so I'm just saying, the judgment, the American people are just like, we are so... The normal people, which I know it's hard to remember this, but there are more normal people than not normal people. I know, sometimes we wonder. But there are more people that are rational than irrational. And as far as this Bible thing, people aren't liking it. And people want him stopped. Like more people than not. They want him stopped. They don't like this. And his stock is tanking today. I did see that. We want him locked up like nobody's business. I mean, this is like, we're going to read on that. And there's actually going to be a strong communication messaging that kind of gets launched from this newest grift. Grifting off the Holy Bible. And we were talking about Church of Spirituality, which I'm on my 4th year of this Church of Spirituality. And this was the 4th year that I did all 4 days of the Christian Holy Week. I commemorated it because it's a universal spiritual message, a really powerful message, that Christian story. And do catch the services if you haven't. Yesterday's was beautiful, the Easter sunrise and all that. But anyway, my point is, I'm not one of those people that will say, obviously I'm not, go read the Bible, everything's in the Bible. I'm not that, and I think it's obvious. But I do use it, especially at certain points in the year, like Christmas and Easter, because it's relevant. And because billions of people are celebrating, and I want to be aligned with that energy. It's palpable, right? So, Cheryl, you were so sweet. So that's why it upset me even way more than maybe it would have if I wasn't like, a spiritually leaning person, like most of you. Probably all of you. All right. So, I don't think it's going to help him at all. I think more and more people, I'm just getting people are leaving in droves. Not the cult members. Oh yeah, Neil Diamond's song, They're Coming to America, that's a great song. Oh yeah. Because Neil Diamond, that's real talent. All right, I'm pulling 3 cards about I'm trying to formulate the question. The planets are all going to be aligned on April 4th. We have a show. Kathy Beal and I, we have a Spirit Talk podcast. We have our astrology show tomorrow at 4 Eastern time, if you want to catch us live. She's in the chat tonight. So the question I want to formulate, well, this was about the American populace and the effect of the Bible grift on the American populace. I see people just dropping their support. If they were kind of like, well, maybe I'll support Trump. I see them just leaving in droves. So now let's pull 3 cards about the American populace, just their view of him right now. The first question I was just asking was more about the Bible. The grift. This is just about how people are viewing him right now. But first, a dad joke. A lawyer was so large that when he died, the undertaker couldn't find a coffin big enough to hold the body, so the undertaker gave him an enema and buried him in a shoebox. New dad joke book. And how America is, okay, this is how America is feeling in general about him in general. We feel, well, this is a jail card. We want him locked up. We want him to shut up. Oh my. Gloria, you're funny. We want him to be locked up and to shut up and to be fined heavily. This page isn't available. No, I was just reading, Terry. I just was reading on how Americans are feeling about Trump's latest stunt. Now I'm just reading about how people feel about Trump in general. Mostly. You drove near Bedminster yesterday and your phone service went out? Yeah, the American people want him locked up. and they want him to be charged out the wazoo. Bad energy emanating. Is that an astrological thing that you're saying right now, Kathy? Because he's always emanating bad energy. As I see the Seven of Swords, which is the stealing card. All right. Now, I'm going back to the Nefarious cards. Are you talking about Bedminster? Yeah. I bet. Well, most of the American people that are thinking rational people really want him in jail. And I've been seeing that. Let's he should be in jail for threatening violence on the president. Is it wrong to expect justice? Exactly. Judge Merchan's daughter might be seeing 45 according to Midas Touch. What do you mean might be seeing him? Trump put up that judge's daughter in Stormy case picture up so she can be harassed. Yes, he needs to go to jail. All right, is he going to go to jail? Oh, suing him. Okay. All right, is he going to go to jail? Not initially, but eventually. Thank you, Robert. Well, I just picked up that Lee Greenwood is going to sue him because I don't think he's going to pay Lee anything. And Judge Merchan's daughter is suing him. And how many times can you sue a person? It doesn't do any good. It just makes him worse. He's like a horror movie villain character. But you know, it's funny. When I think about comparing him to a horror movie villain, I don't really get like a person villain. I always get like a monster. Like Alien or, you know, like Godzilla or something. I'm going to pull 3 cards on... Yeah, he just keeps going. 3 cards on how what used to be the Republican National Committee, but you can't really call it that anymore. It's the Trump National Committee. How they're doing. You wish more would tip? Oh, by the way, there's a donation button if you want to donate. And I'm sorry, it's hard for me to follow everybody, but thank you if you donated. Much appreciate. I need to pay my rent. And when you become a member, you're invited to a psychic party once a month. We had a psychic party on Saturday night. It's always fun. Oh, and it was... I'm looking at April now. I don't know what the moon was in. This month, in April, the psychic party will be moon and Sag, so that promises to be a fun time. Thank you for your donations. I'm asking about the TNC. It's no longer the RNC, it's now the TNC. How they're doing. Well, the Wheel of Fortune means things are going to take a turn. The Ace of Cups. You're going to know exactly what their message is, the TNC. There'll be no gray area. It's going to be directly, this is, we're going to end democracy. That's their message, the RNC. There will be no gray area. It's going to be right in front of us. And the Wheel of Fortune is indicative of the money just being really chaotic at the TNC. No longer do I look at it as the Republican National Committee. It's a completely different animal. So their message will be very, very, very... They're not hiding anything. What you see is what you get. The Loser National Committee, I like that The LNC, I like it. The Wheel of Fortune indicates the money is because there's so much chaos. I feel like the money is not being managed. Yeah, the DOJ does need to act. And I posted a picture of Alina Habba's huge birthday bash. I will show it to you. And I haven't checked, but I put it on the community page and I asked you what your caption would be. Look at those girls. Do you think they care about anybody but themselves? Just wondering. Do you see any indication at all that these girls care about anybody but themselves? I just have to show you, just to remind everyone of how hard we need to fight. Those are some bad witches. It's burning Thomas's eyes. Yeah. Well, you know. They're pretty evil. And I'm just going to mention this, and I'm going to keep the energy, up. But yesterday I had the opportunity to hang out with, I have 3 grandnephews, and they're the cutest things. Age 1, 3, and 4, I think. Anyway, I can't be around kids that age nowadays without thinking about the family separation policy that the Trump administration administered, put into effect while he was in office. If you have grandchildren, if you have little ones around you, and you think about, there's very few things that are more evil than that. Heartbreaking. Just like, wow. Stephen Miller, these people are just evil incarnate. Yeah, and it's just, talk about a horror movie. So anyway, it makes me extra motivated. It does. It makes me extra motivated. Thanks, Terry, for being my PR person. Yeah, it's soulless. That's about, how they can sleep. Well, what made me think about it was just showing you those 3 women. It's like they don't care about anybody. Stephen Miller looks like Joseph Goebbels to you. Let's ask him. I think I've asked before if he was him. The Nazi leader who had the most really sadistic, unthinkable things. Okay, was Stephen Miller? Oh, thank you. Love you too. Was he a Nazi in a past lifetime? It's kind of sort of, but not. I'm not getting Nazi Germany. I'm getting. Okay, was he a leader in some kind of genocide in a past lifetime? Yes. It doesn't look like it was Nazi Germany. Human beings have done heinous things to one another for many years. Three cards about... What I want to pull 3 cards about is the names the other day at our Grassroots of Democracy discussion group, which I really want you to come. They're bad witches. We can't call those women witches because they're good witches. I'm a good witch. I know, I confuse a lot of people. They're evil witches. What does a baby computer call his father? Data. All right, so this whole thing that they have planned, this Project 2025. On Ari Melber, he was talking about these billionaires. And I was talking about this the other night at our Grassroots of Democracy meeting. I was talking about the Grassroots of Democracy meeting about on January 7th, all these huge corporations, they removed their support for Trump and for the Republican Party, the insurrectionists. They were horrified. They were like, we can't believe that happened. There's no way. We're pulling out of all financial support for Trump and the Republican Party. So we were like, well, this certainly called for that. And I was talking about how they all came back, and now they're voting for Trump. Nelson Peltz and Robert Bigelow, they're voting for fascism. The new channel has 51 subscribers. Oh, thank you. We'll get to that. So I'm going to read on whether these billionaires, I mean, my goodness, there's not enough money to make them satisfied. Yeah, we would probably want to boycott them. So look up Robert Bigelow. Oh, and Midas Touch is on tonight. So thank goodness for Midas Touch. They might talk about it. I don't know. I don't know who they are. I just wrote down their names. I didn't get the details. Nelson Peltz, and Electrostorm is saying, doesn't Peltz want to control Disney's board? Probably. And Robert Bigelow, is that Bigelow T? So I just wrote down they're voting for fascism. Because a vote for Trump is a vote for fascism. Let's be clear. Thomas, I missed your joke. I don't get why Marvel doesn't use the Hulk to advertise more. He's basically one big banner. Oh my gosh. They want the tax cuts, Angela's saying. Yeah, but how depraved can you be? Don't quote me, it's Robert Bigelow, but I didn't look any further into it because it was just a little while ago. So they were all about that insurrection was terrible. We're January 7th, 2021. How much money do you need exactly? Wasn't I just saying on Friday, it's like, I might not have a lot of money, honestly. It's kind of ridiculous. But I'm happy. So it doesn't take money. It takes hanging out with you guys and doing things like with other people and being in service and, sharing the love. Those are the people that are happy, like all you guys, right? They have big, giant holes, bottomless pits in their souls. It's just, But can you imagine that well, happiness is a choice, Rhonda, but my point is that happiness is comes from serving others. Happiness, real true happiness, comes from genuinely feeling like you want to see people happy and you make an effort to make people happy to the best of your ability to make the world a better place. I'd rather be me than them. Because that's like you're feeling hungry all the time for more money, more money, more money. Anyway, I'm pulling 3 cards about these bringers of evil. How that's going to go. And while I'm on the topic, I just want to say that there's a lot of YouTubes about this nowadays, but if you've read any accounts of life after death, near-death experiences where the person went to the other side and they came back and they told you what they found out. when they were having their life review, and this has been repeated so many times that it probably is the way it happens. What do they come back with? A message from the spirit world. I'm testing you. Robert, love being a nurse, happy all the time. See, I rest my case. Yeah, so when people that have near-death experiences, they come back. This story has been repeated so many times it must be true. I believe it's true. When they have their life review, the times that they were kind and loving and cared for other people and were considerate and helped and like were good Samaritans, that's what was pointed to as what mattered the most. Right, money and status doesn't matter. It doesn't. So I'm reading about these billionaires that said they're going to support Trump. So basically they're saying they're voting for fascism. And because we meet for Grassroots of Democracy, when an issue comes up, this is why I love this group, the Grassroots of Democracy group, you guys too, and Grassroots of Democracy, is that we see a story and then we go, what are we going to do about it? Guess you're going to change tea company. So is he the tea guy? What's their fate? Yeah, King of Pentacles. They all want to be king of the money. King of the money. King. They're all like trying to outdo each other. It reminds me of when I was growing up, there were a lot of like Sicilian or Portuguese weddings, you know, in the area, in the neighborhood, because there's a lot of people that are Sicilian around here and Portuguese. So one family would have their daughter was getting married, right? And so they'd have a big, especially in with the relatives. The cousin got married and they had a big wedding, but then the other, cousin had to have a bigger wedding. They went into probably huge debt, having these huge weddings, always trying to outdo each other. And that's what I get with the billionaires. They're always trying to outdo one another. So then they lose sight of what they're even doing. Pray for World Central Kitchen. Are they in trouble? I didn't hear a story. Anyway, so as far as the billionaires go, this is the King of Pentacles. They want to be king of the money. They all want to outdo each other. What kind of life is that? Ten of Pentacles, yeah, they're only thinking about their tax breaks. They're going to vote for Trump because they want to vote for fascism because they're only thinking of themselves. And what they want is an oligarchy, right? Yes, every person who had a near-death experience comes back with a message. Love is the answer. The World Central Kitchen. Well, they're always at risk out there. Where were they? You can still drink Bigelow tea. Terry looked it up. I didn't think he was associated with Bigelow. Where was the let's take a moment of silence for the people that were killed at the World Central Kitchen. Love is all there is. Well, they were living in their love and service. That's so tragic. Where was that? Okay, so as far as the billionaires, you don't have to stop drinking Bigelow tea. It's a different person from what I'm seeing in the chat. I actually think these billionaires are going to hear from the younger generation. I really do. I don't know if it's going to stop them from voting for fascism, but I don't feel like it's across the board that they're going to vote for Trump. I'm not getting that that's a thing. So the World Central Kitchen was in Gaza. Yeah, that's high risk. They knew they knew the risk. I'm not saying that they wanted to be killed, but they knew the risk. Bigelow Sugarlow. Oh my goodness, look at the time. I'm making an effort to make my videos shorter. And on Monday nights, we catch Midas Touch at 8 Eastern Time. I do get the youth will stand up against these mega billionaires. Oh, there goes Elliot and Judy. They have their spring clothes on today. One of my viewers named Judy made all these clothes for them. What's the great news? I feel like I'm missing the great news here. What's going on? Annette, you can't do it all. You can't do everything. Yeah, that's, please may you have dinner. Yes, you may have dinner, Joanne. Go on, have dinner. We're wrapping up. Here comes Stormy. All right, I'm going to pull 3 cards about the Biden administration. I want to hear more about Joe Biden and less about Trump. Protest in Israel for a new election consistently across the board, even before the attack on October 7th on Israel. Across the board, I have always seen Netanyahu getting arrested before I even really knew much about what was going on in the Middle East. Not that I know much about what's going on in the Middle East in terms of politics and history. I mean, admittedly, I'm not an expert there. When what? Warren, you know how much I dislike the question when, but you just keep grinding them. Oh, World Trade Kitchen. Somebody, I probably had the wrong initials. World Central Kitchen. I'll read about it. World Central Kitchen, right. Okay. Biden. It's been tough, but this is a journey away from difficulty. I mean, when I get this, when I'm reading on Biden, I really do feel like the messaging of this is an interesting thing, because I feel like the Trumpsters, the MAGA, are going to campaign on attempting to pull the wool over everybody's eyes and saying January 6th never happened. And then on the Biden side, I feel like they're going to put a whole lot of energy and attention, as they well should, on what Trump did, inciting a basically inciting a war on our country. I can't even believe that. All right, I'll calm down. But the Biden campaign is going to focus heavily on the damage that Trump did to this country, and is just kind of doing it methodically, doing it carefully. I feel like the Biden administration, the campaign, has a lot of really good young people doing social media and marketing. They have been kind of on it, and the communication is going to get stronger. His latest commercial welcoming Haley. I really do think this is going to be hugely impactful. The Biden messaging is hugely impactful. Plus, just the messaging that grassroots donations, just donations from the people, we the people, are exponentially more than Trump. Yeah, are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? Good Lord, 4 years ago, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy to have a year like 2020. We made it through. Yeah, some of the commercials. I feel like the messaging is really coming together. Everyone stay on it, right? It's just like, the Antichrist has infiltrated into our government for the past 8 years. It's a lot. It's tough. Before we go, I want to read some tea leaves and also Help me to help you. In 1 month, I will be moved. This is all gonna be, this will be all be gone. I have to recreate. Maybe I'll see if I can recreate this exactly. But I have to move, and I have to move. So I'm gonna tell you more about that. But anyway, it's expensive to move. So help me to help you, because I've been doing readings for over 30 years and I'm really, really, really good at it. So psychicannetteDion.com. I'm also a spiritual life coach. Electra Storm is saying no more birds in beer bottles. There certainly will be seagulls. There will be more seagulls. Moving is new lessons. Well, it's a new chapter. Life is about change. So, grassrootsofdemocracy.com, grassrootsofdemocracy.com. No 80s paint colors. What are 80s paint colors? I don't think I can paint the place. I don't own it. I'm renting. But it's going to be off-white, I think. I'll have plenty of time to tell you all more about that. Grassrootsofdemocracy.com is where you go to join us in saving our democracy. Christina sent me this. It's a pointer for the tea leaves. Would I do half-hour readings? I do. Yes, I do half-hour tea leaf readings. Go to my website. You'll see. A tea leaf reading is, I'm using my psychic ability with the tea leaves. It's not like, look at my walls. Why am I looking at my walls? All right. Here we go. If I follow the chat too much, you know me, I'm all over the place. So I'm trying to reel myself in and read the tea leaves. All right, I'm doing my best. I see a bunny rabbit again. There's a bunny rabbit on Saturn. Yes, there is. I know it's hard to believe, but there is. Which reminds me, I have to tell you, yesterday, thank you, Maria. Last night, sometimes I like to drive late at night. So I'm driving late at night last night, just kind of taking a drive and listening to the news or something. And all of a sudden I went down the street. Let me just take a moment to tell you about how special it was yesterday. Yesterday was a really special, beautiful day. The sun came out. It was really amazing. Starting with the sunrise service, in my favorite spot, which is on the intersection of two energy meridians, really powerful. Then later, the Church of Spirituality, Easter Sunday service, and then being with family. And then that night, I'm just driving around, and all of a sudden, I went down the street, and I looked out the window. It was really dark, and there was this whole entire family of deer looking right at me. And it was otherworldly, and it was like a gift. It was so I don't know, it did something. It was kind of like a spiritual message. So, deer represent the gentleness of spirit. It was so, the vibrational frequency is getting higher. And I know in all this chaos and craziness that we're in, it's one of the symptoms of the vibrational frequency getting higher. Yeah, I felt blessed. I really felt blessed. I actually felt like spirit was thanking me. And I was so moved, I almost cried. When I thought of it when I saw the bunny on Saturn, because we see a lot of bunnies and deer. I saw a coyote too. So there's a bunny on Saturn, and bunnies represent fertility. So what I'm seeing there is Saturn is like the disciplinarian. The deer were giving me a message. That's what I felt, Cheryl, and that's why I was really moved. When I was driving away, I was like, that was profound. That was a profound message. Pay attention to nature. It's speaking to you. Gotta do nature, everybody. In the northern hemisphere, it's spring. Take advantage of it. Rabbit, it's a general symbol of increased fertility. Business may enter a phase of growth. Okay, but that's more personal. I would say that because it's sitting on Saturn and we're doing a political reading, lots of movement against Trump. I know it's hard for you to see that, so just take my word for it. It's a rabbit. Kind of sideways. Kind of looks a little like a chocolate bunny. You know, the shape that they are. Yeah, Joanne saw a deer. Yeah, it was a spiritual message. Also, I feel like that has to do with lots of disciplinarian type things on Trump. Oh, you can always watch it on replay if you're late. Also, what else do I see? I see a pitcher. It looks like a pitcher, like a water pitcher. And I'm just going to say that I see a dog. And of course, a dog and a goose. A dog and a goose. Dog, dog, goose. Let me just read these for you. Deborah said the seagulls are really yapping at you this way. They do get loud. Dog is loyalty and a pitcher of water, like a water pitcher. Well, this looks like I'm kind of picking up on like a feeling of release. There's a bird there, a feeling of release from stress and strain. I'm thinking that something's gonna come down on Trump. That's what I'm really seeing. Oh, thank you, Darren, for putting up the meanings of the different animals. Yeah, interesting. Thank you, Karen. You're welcome. I am picking up that we're going to see some kind of disciplinary action towards Trump. You're welcome for the beautiful service. My pleasure. It was just announced that Judge Rashawn expanded the gag order to include the daughter. Yeah, that was this afternoon. All right. Could be the motion just filed a series. Yeah, we're going to see something between now and Wednesday. Before we go, please make sure that you subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Take a moment right now. Just do it right now. Do it right now. Tell your friends to watch our show. I know it's a little zany and, this crazy, but we have fun. It's like a democracy party. And PsychicAnnetteDion.com is where you go to book a reading. Please book a reading. I have a class coming up I'll tell you about at the end of the week. A very intense class for those that are brave and want to take it. And love you too, love you too, love you too. Till next time. There was something else, but I have too much going on. We'll see you soon. Namaste. Be well. Have a good night, and we'll see you soon.